It kind of captures for me a lot of things, feelings that I like into one thing. I mean, there's a strong sense of passion, there's a sense of loss, there's a sense of regret, and all these. Every character has a sort of different agenda and a different passion, and there's something that's very touching and sad and emotional and funny and dark about all of that together. I think when we meet him, he's pretty much already dead in a certain way. And so there's just something very fascinating about that kind of a character. There's something, he's very still, very internal, but I find something very emotional about the character. Both of them are nuts, and I think that's why they're sort of drawn to each other. They're both kind of damaged in their own ways, and that's what somewhat strangely connects them. And like I said, it was very important to me that you'd look at them and they look like a weird couple. And that was something, because I remember seeing that in the poster for the original stage thing. It was a drawing of the two characters, but it was a strong just illustration of the two of them. And it's just, that's why I always felt that however they looked, you want to kind of create that kind of iconic image of, two strange creatures that are drawn to each other. The razors are kind of just an extension of him, really. He was probably, more of an artist than just you don't necessarily consider a barber or somebody who shaves somebody an artist, but just in his movements you can tell that he was an artist, and it's part of his passion and part of who he is. It turns dark, but it still is an extension of him, and and Johnny's good at using scissors and sharp instruments, so it seemed natural in a way. The thing starts with his revenge on the people that wronged him. But the one thing about Mrs. Lovett is that she may be nuts, but she's fairly practical. So, times aren't that good, and, there's a interesting way to not only dispose of the bodies, but to also, make a little extra money on the side. So, she has her practical side to her as well. I've worked with Johnny several times, and, the one thing, obviously this is new, is him singing. And, that was, and, one time I asked him, and I gave him the original recording and all, and I said, well, would you be interested in doing it? And when he said yes, I mean, I know him well enough to know that if he didn't think he could do it, he would have said no. So that was good enough for me. Like I said, I knew he wouldn't have said yes if he couldn't do it, and it just, as always, was a really great surprise. I mean, knowing he could do it, but then being real surprised that he sounds great. And not, it sounds like him, he's doing a character, and it's just the passion, like I said, this is not an easy musical to do. And, really, really, I thought, really great job. An actress who can do, comedy, drama, do that all at the same time. That's what the piece required, and she did a great job on it. Brings a lot of humor and emotion to it that is very from within. He always finds a different shade to those kinds of characters, and just a real pleasure to watch, and brings a kind of an internal passion to it. That was something, again, that every character had to have, and they all did, which is, you see them thinking, you're not quite sure what they're thinking, but it's something kind of weird, and, he really brings that to it. Tim Spall is, he's great in everything, and he certainly is able to capture that sort of decadent kind of, he really, gets that whole period and knows how to become that. He actually helps the sets. He helps everybody else. He's able to become that kind of character. And like I said, he sort of sets the tone for that time period and everything else. Well, obviously his involvement was really important. I mean, because it's his thing. And I think I've probably never been more nervous than when we showed him the movie, because, it's important, no matter what we changed in it, I had my own barometer, at least for myself, to say, I wanted to, even if we changed something, to try to be as true to the spirit of it. Because that's why I wanted to do it. That's why, I loved it so much and why I wanted to do it. So a lot of things did change, but I always tried to ask myself, is it remaining true? Try to get as much emotion and spirit into it that the show has, that the original and all his work has. So the great thing about him is that he was very, he's extremely talented, extremely intelligent, and very knowledgeable about films. So I felt basically, only support from him that way, which again was very important to me.